but just the way that you guys won this game. What does it say?
I think it's good because we haven't really had too many games that came down to the final possession or the final minute of the game where it showed that we could get some stops when we really needed to. I don't know what the stat was, but we strung a few together there in the last couple of minutes, but it showed that we could grind one out, that when the ball's not falling for us, we can still find a way to win the game.
It was a celebratory moment, too, for Coach Gard. Just first off, tell us what it was like for you guys to have that moment in the locker room.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think anyone really had any idea before the game, but we got it done, and then I think Patrick told me, and so he was like, Coach Gard's 100th win, like, that's big time, so we went in the locker room, like, all the guys were in, like, let's spray him down with some water and celebrate a little bit, and yeah, it's always a good feeling.
Coach will be the last guy to talk about himself in that way. I mean, so from your perspective, what do you think 100 conference wins for him is an indication?
I mean, there's not too many people in this conference that have done it before. I give credit to him. He's stuck with it, and I feel like since I've been here, he's really grown as a coach, as a leader, and he's just gotten better and better every single year. And so I think it shows his ability to get better, to learn while he's in that head position where he's making the decisions. And I honestly give him a lot of credit because he's had a lot of ups and downs throughout his career here, and he's been able to overcome a lot of things and put out a lot of great teams.
It was like a million years ago since he played Michigan State back in December. How have you guys changed, and how do you think they have changed since that all went down back then?
I mean, yeah, they're playing a lot better. They've won, I think, 8 of their last 10 or so. But, you know, they've got a lot of good guys. It was just a matter of time before they figured it out. So they've been playing really well. They've been putting the ball in the hoop a lot better. So it's going to be on us to be able to stop that transition thrust that they always have. And then after that, it's just going to be about us taking care of the ball, doing the things we want to do, get the ball to our positions, and hopefully win the game.
When you look across the way and you see a guy like Thomas down the other way, and you know the guy's a legend, not only in college basketball but in sports. What do you think of him, and what do you think about when you're playing against him?
I mean, it's awesome. I've grown up watching the Big Ten basketball, so I've seen him a lot growing up, and he's one of those guys that's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. And so it's always a pleasure to go out there, especially towards the end of his career. I don't know when it's going to end, but it's always great to go out there and play against one of those coaching legends.
You guys retired Roy Williams.
Yeah, I saw something. I don't know. The last press conference that he had when we played him, he got asked, and he was like, "No, I don't think I'm leaving anytime soon." But, yeah.
I know you guys have this strict down Kamari for a little bit. What has he been able to provide you, even in
Yeah, I mean, he's been able to really give us a good energy spark off the bench. Comes in, he's got a bunch of steals, I know. When he comes in, it seems like the ball ends up in his hands. And he's just playing within himself. He's not turning the ball over. He's doing a good job running the offense. But we're going to miss him. But it gives opportunity to some new guys. And hopefully we take advantage of that. We've had a few good days of practice with Max and Ice at one. So hopefully tomorrow we can get them going on the right track.
You know, obviously with a lot of things, this team's maturity has been one of the biggest things. A guy who just pulled up a shot right behind you, a freshman who just looks super mature. What have you seen in John's development? What have you seen in John's development, being a freshman and shining?
I mean, he's came in and you can tell that he's always been a good basketball player. He's got a great mind, a great feel for the game, but he's just gotten a lot of opportunity. He's made the most of it when he's gotten those early throw-in games in the beginning. He's made the most of those opportunities, and it's just continued to get a longer and longer leash and do more and more things. And so I think that speaks to him as a basketball player, him as a person, but he's just going to get better and better as his career goes on, and I think he's going to be one of the greats here.
Tyler, I want to talk a little bit about playing on the road in this conference. Just what makes it so hard to win on the road in the Big Ten, in your eyes?
There's a whole bunch of things. It could be the long schedule we have, where the travel day, you're in there the day before and you're out the next, so that could play a role. The fans always play a role, and then just I feel like being in a routine where you're at home, you wake up in your own bed, you get your own breakfast, all this kind of stuff. I think it all plays in, but the great team's got to be able to get it done on the road. And so I feel like we've done a pretty good job going into opponents' arenas, doing our best to really focus on what we're doing and our game plan. And I think at the end of the day, that's what it's really got to be. We got to focus on us when we go into those games and not really let everything else distract us.
What's been the hardest road venue that you've played at in this conference? I'm curious.
Well, I gotta say the only one I haven't won at's Illinois, so they usually get pretty rowdy when we go down there. I'm sad we don't get them at State Farm Arena this year, but I'll say that one.
Consistency, the same thing every time. One thing I forgot to ask you was, did you put a harder shot this year than previous years? Or is it the same? No, I can't.
Yeah, I don't think it was on purpose. I think by being consistent and having those things, it's gone up a little bit, and just it wasn't something that I necessarily picked out, but it's definitely something that's noticeable, and even I notice it when it goes in. Better chance to go in.
It's funny because early in the year when people were watching you, they were saying he's not going to be able to shoot free throws because the arc is too high. You got to do what you're comfortable.
Yeah, and I feel like a little taller person, a little longer arms, you got like I don't know, goes along with it sometimes. Like I feel like you're pushing it a little bit too much when it just I don't know.
What's the most important mechanical thing to be consistent?
For me, I think it's just my hand. Getting it off the same two fingers every single time. Don't let it fall one way or the other. So I'd say the two fingers.
Because in the past, some of your misses have been like right or my left, like a field goal. Is that when it comes off?
Yeah.
Okay, that way.
Tyler, notice when you move in transition, if you want to be the guy who consistently runs the one, then why not? But just tell me a little bit about moving in transition, moving that offense. How confident do you feel just trying to help the offense move, and play that?
I think the stuff that we're doing has been really good. When we bring it down to transition, it's not like a fast break where it's full steam ahead, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, stuff like that, where when we come in transition, we want to kind of get into what we're doing, into our sets, into our motion offense, and kind of just let that kind of work for itself. So it's not necessarily me being the point and getting downhill or making plays. It's really just getting us going, get the defense moving.
AJ's athletic dunk. Just first off, your reaction to that. And secondly, I know there's different comparisons, Khalil Iverson and all that stuff. Do you see a comparison to that? Because he's just himself. But what was that dunk first?
That fast break dunk?
The one that I guess didn't count.
Oh,
where
he got his tech.
They got a tech for it.
I looked at it in real time and I was like, oh, like nothing really happened. And then they go to the shore, Sable and all that, and it's like, oh, it is a technical, but I haven't really seen anything like that in the game before. It was pretty impressive to see him just grab it and throw it in with two hands, but he's a special athlete. He does a lot of things that you can't teach, and he's been really great for us, being able to use his athleticism and get us a lot of buckets, and he just keeps getting better and better as the season goes on. So, thanks guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.